What's up, guys? Welcome to General Hospital MV, my GH Actor show. Let's just get right into it. Alexis. Julian legit tried to murder Alexis. He tried to strangle her in the bathtub. I can actually still hear the Julian and Alexis fans still crying in the background. As for me, I watched the original Julian Jerome story from the 80s on YouTube, and I know that this is more true to the character than who he's been the past few years, so it's not really bothering me that much. From the start of the week, it was really obvious that Alexis was trying to get Julian to confess to a murder. She had her phone placed in extremely obvious places that I'm surprised that he didn't see, but he just would not confess. Later on, we learned that Alexis decides to team up with Sunny and Anna to try to bring Julian down. Here's where the story gets confusing. Sunny Corinthos sets the bar in motion by telling Julian Jerome that Alexis is pregnant. He goes to confront Alexis. She doesn't deny it. The show is doing a really good job at only showing things that they want us to see. They're not telling the whole story here. But at the time, it was pretty easy to fathom that Alexis was going to fake a pregnancy to protect herself and to hopefully get Julian to confess because of this. However, Julian Jerome is smart, so he doesn't take Alexis saying she's pregnant at face value. He shows up at her house with a pregnancy test and makes her take it. Here's where the storyline gets interesting. The test turns out positive. Alexis isn't surprised by it. So it kind of has us wondering if she's actually pregnant. First of all, Alexis went through menopause about 4 years ago. This was a storyline that happened on screen, so it's really kind of confusing fans. We're all just kind of sitting here like not sure if the writers just forgot or if this is like a clever trick because Anna's involved with this as well, working with Sunny and Alexis. Maybe Anna did her like crazy super spy shit and like somehow got a hold of a positive pregnancy test. They're trying to stay 3 steps ahead of Julian, and this would be a way to be 3 steps ahead. I don't know. I want to have faith that the writers are that clever, but they have made mistakes like this in the past where they have forgotten a plot line. I forgot that plot line. Someone actually had to remind me on Tumblr that this happened, which is funny because I actually really remember enjoying this storyline when it happened. Please don't ruin the storyline by actually making her pregnant with Julian's child. I'll be so pissed to have this happening, knowing that it's pretty much almost impossible for her to be pregnant at this point. And plus, I am so damn sick of baby storylines on the show. I am good for the next 10 years with all the storylines that we've had in the past, like 4 years involving babies. Do you guys think she's pregnant or not? Let me know. Up next, let's talk about the triangle that is Kiki, Morgan, and Dylan. Kiki chose Morgan. You know my opinion on that. Dylan is obviously fighting for her affection. They end up meeting up at the park and they kiss and Carly walks in on it. She confronts Kiki and then she comforts Kiki after trying to persuade her to be with Morgan or to just, you know, disperse. I don't get why she's being so much easier on Kiki than she is on Sabrina. Given that before Kiki bounced back between Michael and Morgan all the time, you would think that Kiki bouncing between Morgan and a new guy would be just as bad for Carly. Like, she'd be pissed. But she's just like, I'm gonna stay out of it. You gotta choose, like, whatever. Like, no, what? Then leave Michael alone. I'm not like a big Michael Sabrina fan, but like, why? What is your thing with her? If you're okay having Morgan go back to a girl that has cheated on him, you can super be okay with Sabrina leaving town with a fugitive. Carlos is dead. It's not like she's gonna go back to him again. Anyway, rant over. Here's a positive. I am absolutely loving, surprisingly loving, actually, the scenes with Hayden and Dr. Finn. First of all, I want to say that I am so loving Michael Easton. He is really a top-notch actor. Like, I am convinced that he is in that much pain. He was rocking his scenes in that jail cell. He's good at playing the drama and he's good at playing the hilarity. No, it's all good. Just trying to pass a kidney stone. It's fine. Just move on. Loved it. Hayden had to come to Dr. Finn's rescue. He was suffering from whatever disease has taken over his body. She had to sneak into the hospital and get the new drugs and syringe and everything. She even had to stick it in his arm, which made me cringe. It worked, and to comfort Dr. Finn, Hayden just like grabs the back of his hair and like massages it. I thought that was super cute. I'm not gonna lie to you, Hayden's really growing on me as a character. I actually find myself rooting for her more than I do Elizabeth or Nicholas at this point. Kudos to the writers for making me like her. You will never do that for me and Franco, sorry. Since we are discussing doctors and nurses, I think it's only fair that we next talk about this hospital killer storyline. I think since the story began, the person on top of everyone's list, aside from Dr. Finn and Dr. Obrecht was Dr. Mays. He doesn't seem to serve much of a purpose other than being a jerk to the doctors and the nurses and the patients. And after a couple of weird scenes with Elizabeth, it really seemed like he may be the killer. They were both dealing with a patient, and Elizabeth was checking in on the patient every now and then, while actually wondering herself if Dr. Mays could be the actual killer. At one point, she goes back in to check on the patient, and in cliffhanger form before commercial break, she freaked out and called for help, so I'm assuming, oh, there goes the other patient. And then instead, it's Dr. Mays that's on the floor lifeless. That, my friends, I did not see coming. So I'm glad that I was pleasantly surprised by that. It just makes me wonder who it is now though, because I think that Frank Valentini likes Dr. Obrecht and Franco too much to have it be them. And it clearly isn't Finn either, so I am just confused because I doubt it's Monica and I doubt it's Dr. Griffin Monroe. It sure as hell isn't Elizabeth. Lucas, Brad, Epiphany, none of them make sense. Nurse Amy, I don't think she's smart enough to kill people. I'm thinking it's someone that we haven't seen on the canvas yet. Maybe it's Claudette. Finally, a moment I have been waiting for a couple of weeks now. TJ finally confronts his mom. Jordan said that she didn't regret her decisions and that she would do it all over again if she had to. It sent him reeling towards Curtis, who he's also clearly very mad at. Technically, Curtis isn't even his uncle. Now that it's out in the open, I think it's only fair that TJ goes and visits Sean next. I don't know if it's happening, but it better. Surely you can bring Sean back for one more day to have this father-son moment. I think Sean and Jordan really owe it to their son to tell them the whole story of what went down. Anyway, it was another solid week of General Hospital. I enjoyed it. I hope you did too. I will catch you guys next week.